What if all 8 billion people on Earth played in the FIFA World Cup? Now, your first thought might be to just run a regular country-to-country tournament, but nations with giant populations like India and China would completely crush everyone through pure numbers. Even superstars like Messi or Mbappe would be totally useless, physically pinned down by a dense crowd of regular citizens, unable to even see the ball. So to make it a truly global free-for-all, what if we threw away the brackets, forgot the countries, and put every single human on Earth on the same field at the exact same time? If we did that, physics would take over with some absolutely bizarre consequences. To start this game, we have to split the entire world population into 2 equal teams, giving us 4.15 billion players on each side running onto the field at the exact same time. If we make the field big enough so that everyone gets the normal amount of running room, the pitch has to be absolutely giant. We are talking about a field that is 2,039 kilometers long and 1,321 kilometers wide. That is literally larger than the entire island of Greenland, and the length of the field is the exact distance from London to Rome. But before anyone can even kick the ball, we run into a massive problem with the pre-match announcements. By the rules, the announcer has to read out the starting lineups. Even if they speak incredibly fast, reading 8.3 billion names out loud would take over 210 years. Entire generations of players would grow old and pass away on the field before the announcer even finishes reading the midfielders, making the lineup completely useless. And if we take the rest of humanity, like babies and the elderly, and put them in the stands as spectators, the stadium grandstand would have to be larger than the entire city of Chicago or Madrid. If you got a seat at the very top, you would be so far away that you'd need an astronomical telescope just to see the grass. Let's say we skip the announcements and just kick off. What happens when billions of people sprint toward a single soccer ball? This is where things get dangerous. When that many people pack together, individual control is completely lost. At a density of 6 to 7 people per square meter, the crowd stops acting like individuals and starts acting like a fluid, like a giant whirlpool of human water. The physical forces crush body against body, creating massive shock waves. Anyone within a kilometer of the ball would be swept up in a massive crowd collapse, and the ball stands absolutely no chance. If just 5,000 panicking players push toward the center, their combined weight creates an incredible pressure of 3,870 pounds per square inch on the ball. Since a standard soccer ball pops at just 50 pounds of pressure, the ball would violently burst in less than a millisecond, leaving behind nothing but a tiny flattened shred of synthetic leather. Even if the ball survived, how would you talk to your teammates? Sound takes time to travel. If you are standing in the middle of this country-sized field and shout a play to a teammate on the wing 660 kilometers away, it would take 32 minutes for your voice to physically get there. By then, the first half is practically over. If you tried to pass a message down the line by whispering it from player to player, it would take more than 35 days to cross the field, and good luck scoring a goal anyway. To match our billions of players, the goalkeeper rules create an impenetrable wall. Each team would get 377 million goalkeepers. Standing shoulder to shoulder, the goalies would form a line 150,800 kilometers long, which could wrap around the Earth's equator nearly 4 times, making it physically impossible for the ball to ever cross the line. If we scaled the goalposts proportionally to match the field, the goal would have to be 2.76 million kilometers wide, which is over 7 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. The height would reach 920,000 kilometers into space, meaning the Earth's gravity and rotation would violently tear the crossbar apart. But the absolute wildest part of this match is the weather it would create. Running around causes the human body to give off a massive amount of body heat. Staging this match would release as much raw energy as a 7.47 megaton nuclear bomb. To cool down, humanity would produce over 18 million cubic meters of sweat, enough to fill 7,470 Olympic swimming pools. All that rising heat and thick humidity would create a literal sweat hurricane directly over the field, dumping torrential, warm, salty rain back down onto the players. From space, weather satellites would see the entire field glowing bright white from the heat, while a massive continental dust storm blotted out the sun. And if every single player jumped into the air at the exact same time and landed, the impact would trigger a magnitude 4.9 earthquake. It wouldn't destroy buildings, because the force is spread out over a massive area, but it would register on sensors worldwide as a strange, low planetary hum. So, if we ignored all these laws of physics and actually played out the game, who would win? Within the first minute, the massive crowd crush would cause cause a total collapse across thousands of kilometers. Within an hour, the entire country-sized field would fall silent under a swirling sweat storm, ending the game. A planetary World Cup ends in a tragic 0-0 draw, with physics completely crushing our fragile human bodies. But what if that destructive force came from inside you? Imagine having infinite muscle strength, but completely normal bones. It sounds like the ultimate superpower, but it's actually a nightmare. The very first time you tried to lift a car or jump over a building, the raw power of your muscles would instantly snap and shatter your own skeleton into absolute dust. To see the terrifying physics of what happens when your body becomes its own worst enemy, click right here to watch this next video.